Thank you, Duncan. Our next presentation is by Noriko Endo, who will be speaking to us about climate change and one of the unfinished agendas, health agendas in Africa, malaria.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Noriko Endo from MIT. We are dealing with the issue of malaria transmission from the scope of environmental engineering. As many of you already know, malaria is a disease of humans caused by Plasmodium parasite transmitted by Anopheles mosquitoes. There are many ways of dealing with malaria transmission, but you shouldn't forget environment also influences malaria transmission. For example, climate and temperature influence adult mosquitoes' lifespan and also the development rate of parasite. The availability of water also influences malaria through the abundance of vector pools and the living patterns of humans. Climate also influences the availability of water through rainfall. The title of today's presentation is Climate Change Impact on Malaria in Africa, so I'd like to focus on this system. The first message from me is that the environmental impact on malaria is really complex and nonlinear, so a simple correlation analysis may not be enough to analyze the environmental impact. So for rigorous analysis, you need a mechanistic approach. You need to analyze based on the principles of physics and biology. And one way to realize that is through simulation models. Our group has been developing a mechanistic malaria model, HydroMats, hydrology, entomology, and malaria transmission simulator. HydroMats is a comprehensive and detailed model which features the explicit representation of water bodies and the behaviors of Anopheles mosquitoes. This model has been tested extensively against multitudinous observational data from East and West Africa. Another challenge of analyzing the environmental impact or climate impact on malaria is simply that we do not know the future climate. There are many GCM, global climate models, but they often disagree on each other, which implies that some models are more accurate than others. So we select the most accurate GCM for our target site based on their ability to reproduce the observed climate. For some regions, we seek even more accurate projection of climate using RCM, Regional Climate Model, through the process called dynamic downscaling. So, it looks terrible, sorry. So by applying the accurate projection of climate to the mechanistic malaria model, we analyze the climate change impact of malaria in these three regions in Africa. Sorry, the figure is not very clear. Okay, anyways. So the future risk of malaria is expected to be high over this region in Africa, which may not be very clear, but I'm pointing out this like Ethiopian highland. In this region, the future climate is expected to be warmer and slightly wetter. And this region currently has temperatures significantly lower than the optimum temperature for malaria transmission. So the increase in temperature leads to higher transmission of malaria. Furthermore, the people here are currently living at low endemicity of malaria due to cold temperature. So people are currently living with low immunity or limited immunity. So the combination of higher transmission potential in the future and the current low immunity conclude high risk of malaria in this region in the future. Over the coastal Sahel fringe, the future climate is likely to be warmer and drier. Unlike the Ethiopian highland, the warmer climate leads to lower transmission potential because the temperature here is already close to the optimum temperature for malaria transmission. Furthermore, drier climate leads to lower transmission potential too, so the overall risk of malaria will be low for this field. Over the Sahel fringe in West Africa, the climate impact is mixed. This region expects warmer and wetter climate. Similar to the previous site, the warmer climate makes malaria transmission less likely, but wetter climate more likely. So the impact is a little bit ambiguous. However, given the current level of people's immunity, the moderate level of current immunity, we do not expect the future risk of malaria increase significantly. In conclusion, based on the mechanistic malaria model and the accurate projection of future climate, we found different mechanisms are driving distinct patterns in the change in malaria transmission over Africa. Thank you.
Thank you, Noriko.